Hey guys, Kev here, and I want to do a video talking about my evolution in the knife world, right? Um, I have some knives here. I might switch over to a tabletop view at some point. Um, but this is going to be a knife ramble, so you guys know how those go now. They tend to be long and they tend to be just nonsense, me spewing, thinking about what I'm thinking about, right? And I was downstairs this morning with my kid, right? So on weekends, my wife and I try to split the weekend where one of us gets to sleep in one day and the other takes care of our daughter in the morning and vice versa, right? So today was my dad duty morning. So I get up. Luckily, our daughter slept till like, I don't know, 8:15 or something. It was nice. But anyway, I'm down there and I'm just, I throw in some YouTube after watching some Shark Dog and, Pup Academy or whatever the hell it was. And I'm watching YouTube and I'm just thinking. And I'm like, I wonder how many people have joined the hobby since COVID hit, right? Because I feel like whether you were into knives before or not, like me, I was into knives, but I wasn't like down the rabbit hole, so to speak. And when COVID hit and we were kind of locked down and just stuck at home, and for me, for about a month, I was laid off, or on whatever the fuck they called it. I can't even remember the word now. What the fuck was the word? Started with a P, right? It wasn't parlay. I'm not a pirate. Well, or something like that. Anyway, I had a lot of time, right? And my wife was pregnant, very pregnant. We were due in a couple months, but, we didn't have a kid to take care of. This was obviously early 2020, and I just started watching YouTube, right? That's what you do. You either play video games or watch YouTube, and I did both, right? Crushed me some Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Red Dead Redemption 2, you know how it is. Anyway, man, I wish I could play games. I haven't played games in forever. I haven't seen any good ones come out either. Well, I got that Cyberpunk game earlier this year. What? I don't even know when that was, but my kid was still kind of young enough that she napped a lot, and that game sucked. I really tried, man. I didn't even get the refund. See, I'm rambling already. I didn't get the refund when they offered it on PlayStation. I was like, nah, they gonna patch this shit. It's gonna be good. I heard this is gonna be the shit because The Witcher 3 was the bomb. That was one of the best games ever made, and it was the same company, so I figured they got this. That game sucks. Cool, like, features and stuff, but, like, ultimately, it's not interesting and the gameplay sucks, so. Anyway, sorry. So I'm watching YouTube and I'm like, I gotta get some knives, right? Like, I'm looking at all these cool knives, and at the time, so to backtrack a little bit, I had watched some Shabazz, like, back in the day. I got kind of like, I somehow got from, like, Such or Nut and Fancy watching gun stuff, and somehow a Shabazz video popped up or something, and I watched it. And then I started watching more, and I ended up buying a bug out, a standard blue bug out, a ZT0450 carbon fiber or CF, a Wii rectifier, and those were kind of like my three knives. I had those three, and I had a little like Civivi or a Wii cloth on my dresser, and I had my three knives, right? And then that lasted for a while. I had just those three. And at some point I was watching like Slicey Dicey, and I got hooked. Like, I really wanted a 940, right? Because you hear how awesome the 940 is. This is what happens when you get into the hobby. That's something we could talk about at some point too. But, so you got 940, I gotta get it. And can't find them anywhere. They're expensive as shit. At the time anyway, $180 for that. And, sorry. Slicey Dicey did one of those Trade Me Anything videos, which, by the way, That was the best shit he ever did. That was like peak slicey dicey. Was trade me anything, and it was always like cool knives, and then you could trade anything, you know. And I like did a joke where I offered my dog, and whatever. But this one guy offered his 940-2. I think it's the G10 one, and black G10 S30. And he almost took it, but he didn't. So I reached out to him. I was like, hey, man, you think that guy would trade me? And Brian responded, was like, well, I can try. I'll message him for you. Whatever. He connected us somehow. He gave me his email or something. I ended up trading that guy my Wii rectifier and $50. I took a hit on that. Well, the rectifier was like 140 or something. So I don't know. Whatever. I didn't care. I just wanted the 940. So, and I had the rectifier forever, and it was a cool knife, but I don't know. The D10 was kind of strong. It's kind of funny saying that now. Never even tried reverse flicking that. It had a hole in it. I didn't even know. You know what I mean? I get the 940, and I'm like, this is pretty cool. But like, I wasn't like, damn, this is the greatest knife ever, right? Like. And I just started doing more and more like research and getting into it. And when I saw a knife I liked, I didn't just like watch Slicey's video or Shabazz's video and buy it. I started watching tons of channels. Like I would try to watch like 10 reviews on the same knife while I'm sitting there contemplating, am I going to spend $140, right? Like now that's like, but anyway, COVID hits and that's when I start watching it. And I ended up buying Sabides, and I got a Rat 2 for a friend so I could try it, hated it. You know, just what happened. You buy stuff, and I bought a few Two Sons. I started watching Ray's channel, Everyday City Carry. Shout out to Ray. I was really active on his channel. I would send him stuff. I would give him stuff. I would give stuff for him to give away. That was like my way of interacting in the community at the time. And then somebody told me about Instagram. Like I discovered Instagram. And I'd always known what Instagram was, but like not for knives. And I had like a personal account I never went on, right? So I set up an account, or no, I started going on my account, my personal one, and you know, after a month, everything on there was knives. Like there was nothing else on my feed. And I started talking to some people. Like I got connected with people. Like so I knew Ray, and Ray had this podcast, and I had just started watching Jake's channel. Shout out to Bearded Gear. Jake's one of my good buddies in the community. He's one of my best friends in general at this point. And I reached out to Ray, and I was like, dude, Bearded Gear would be cool to have on your podcast. He's like a new channel, up and coming, whatever. And he's like, yeah, that would be cool. But like Ray was kind of shy about asking people to stuff. At the time, I guess. I don't think so anymore. But so I reach out to Jake. I'm like, hey man, this is weird, but like I know this dude who has this channel and he does a podcast, and if you'd want to be on it, you know, like he would do it. And I basically like set this thing up third party style. And Jake did Ray's podcast, and it was great and whatever. And that's how I started talking to Jake. And this is now getting into like how I met people, I guess. I don't know. Like I said, ramblings. And it's just fun for me to reminisce, I guess. And that's when at some point there was a fundraiser. I kept seeing it on YouTube and Instagram for Rodney, Naftastic EDC, he goes by now. He had some kind of leg surgery or a broken leg or whatever. There was a raffle going on. And Kyle, DTOM Knives and Gear, my brother, was setting it up. And I reached out to him, and I was like, dude, I'd love to donate some knives to this thing, whatever. And I sent him like 5 knives. And that's how I started talking to Kyle. So weird. And it's not weird, but and then like I would talk to Kyle and Jake separately all the time. Like a lot. And then I realized that, like, we would talk to each other. So, like, Kyle and Jake were talking too, because they would always mention each other on their channels, trading knives back and forth, loaning. And at one point I was like, fuck, I'm just going to start a group chat. So I started a group chat with me, Kyle, and Jake. And dude, like, we still have that chat. We've been talking daily since that point. And, like, those dudes are amazing. And then at some point I started talking to Chris from Grady's Gear, and we all talked to him. So then he joined in there, and it's just a blast. Like, we talk all the time. Those are my best friends in the hobby, in whatever, the world. So anyway, I don't know where I got sidetracked here, but I was just thinking, like, all the people I've met along the way, and those aren't the only guys. I'm just mentioning them. But it all kind of started with COVID, and that's kind of what I'm getting at. Like, I know COVID sucks. I know it caused a lot of people harm. I know it has caused a lot of people harm, is causing a lot of people harm. I know we are all on different sides of it in the knife community. Whether you're a Republican, a Democrat, a Libertarian, a liberal, a conservative, a gun guy, a knife guy, whatever, right? A vaccine guy, a not vaccine guy, a pro-Biden, pro-Trump, whatever, right? COVID has brought this knife community together, and I think has exploded it. Not even just knives, EDC, right? Like, it has literally exploded since COVID. There are so many people that I watch their channel, and they basically admit constantly that they didn't get into knives or collecting until COVID. And I'm not the only guy. Like, I just told you the story, right? I had knives, I was into knives, but I wasn't, like, collecting knives. I wasn't, like, in the hobby, interacting with all you guys until COVID hit. And then I went down the rabbit hole, right? I went down the budget knife rabbit hole, started building my way up, got some Spyderco's Benchmade, started spending $100 and $200. And then, I met Jake and Kyle, and they fucked my life up, and now I'm spending $1,000 sometimes on a knife. I don't know what I guess this is my highest, this is my most expensive knife. This, essentially, I paid $1,100 for this knife. Of course, it wasn't, like, straight up, but I had a $900 knife that I traded plus $200, sorry, for this. Now, granted, this knife, the way it's built right here, I think with this clip and the hardware like this and the golf putter, I believe this would be about $750 to get this knife if you won the lottery or whatever and had him build it to this spec. It would be about $750, so that's $350 extra I paid. I don't care at all. This is not a knife that I look at and go, oh, I spent that much, I should get my money back by selling it or something else. It's just that good that it's just, But point being is, this is where I'm at now, right? I'm trying custom knives, and I'm working on my own knife design right now. That's kind of the last evolution of this for me. Is I started on Instagram when COVID hit, basically, like a month or two later. It was like April or May 2020. And then a month after that, I created my Lefty EDC Instagram. And I just was like, I was looking on Instagram, and I was like, this guy EDC, that guy EDC, this EDC. And I was like, I'm left-handed. Like, that was my thing. Like, I'm not the only lefty, but, like, I was always like, does it have a lefty clip? How does it work for a lefty? Like, so it was just like, like when I would talk to Jake and Kyle, they'd be like, it's a great knife, but I don't know how it would work for a lefty because I know it doesn't have a reversible clip like you like or whatever, right? So it was just like my thing. So I was just like, fuck it, is there anybody called Lefty EDC? And there wasn't, so I just ran with it. And I realize now it's like the most generic, like just dumbass name, but that's me. So I did that, and then after months and months. It was like November last year that I finally, people kept asking me, like, when are you going to start a channel? And blah, 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 right? Everybody, a lot of the people I was talking to daily about knives had channels. So, like, it was always coming up, like, about their videos and what they had coming and whatever. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to give it a shot. So I bought a tripod, and I bought, I don't even think I bought a light. I just bought a tripod. That was it. And I slapped my iPhone 11 Pro down, and I did an intro video sitting on my parents' in their guest room on the couch. Because back then, full-fledged COVID, our kid was, 2 months old or a month and a half. And, no, she couldn't have been 2 months old. Oh, no, daycare wouldn't take her until she was 6 months old. And she was born in July. I started the channel in November. So I was going to their house from when my wife got off maternity leave, which was 3 months later. So August, September, sometime in October, my wife went back to work, and my mom was helping us. She would watch the kid during the day. So I would take her with me to my parents. I would work upstairs. My mom would hang out with her downstairs, just try to keep her. She was really colicky at the time. Just try to keep her calm. We had a swing and, feed her or whatever. And I was there, so I could always help, which was great. And I owe my parents, big time for that. For those 3 months, they saved our ass. And then once she was 6 months, she went into daycare, which you're going to hear a lot of different stories if you're having a kid about what's best, and you need to make your own decision. But I will say it was scary for me to put her in at 6 months, thinking that it was so young. But she just blossomed when she went to daycare. She loves it. They teach her stuff. She learns a lot. She interacts with other people. It was the best thing that happened to her, in my opinion. She loves it. So, anyway, I was at my parents' at the time when I started the channel, is the fucking point, Kev. And I just did an intro video on the couch. That's how I did my first videos. You could go watch them if you want. They're trash. It's just me all nervous, trying to act like a reviewer, right? This is a drop point, and I love how the belly goes like this. And this is the spine. And it's I'm trying to be like everybody else's reviewer, right? And that's not me. That's not how I am in real life or whatever. But that's how you learn your style. You make videos. You got to just do it. So if anybody, and I don't know why anybody would take advice from me, but if anybody's wondering, how do you start a channel? When's the right time? What is the equipment you need? Dude, get yourself a tripod, because you got to have something to hold the camera. And maybe some lights. I mean, you could get these lights that I have right here, and I'm not saying they're great. They're called E-Mart, the letter E, M-A-R-T. Just look it up, E-Mart lights, studio lights or whatever on Amazon. They're $30. Tripod will be you could get one for $20. I would get the $30 UBZ one. And maybe you spend $60 and you're good. You put your phone in there. You have a phone. I mean, you have to have a smartphone if you're watching this, or something with a camera on it. And you hit record and you just start talking about what you want to talk about. And if you need a subject, just pull the knife in your pocket out and start talking about that knife and what you think about it, because that's what I care about. If you want to be the specs guy and talk about all of that as well, great. You're going to have your own style, but just speak your mind, your opinion on it, and you don't have to filter yourself if you don't want to, if that's not you. But that's what I want to hear. If you're starting a channel, let me know. I'd love to check it out. But I want to know, I want to hear your opinion and your thoughts on the knife. I don't want to just hear what all the other reviewers say, Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. But anyway, you just get more and more comfortable. You just got to crank them out. You just got to crank the videos out. Sit down and film when you can. Editing is so easy if you're just going to do face cam or desktop. If you're going to do desktop, you could just buy one of these things on Amazon. I will not lie. It took me about a month to figure out what the hell these things are. I still don't even know what they're called. Desktop mount or something like that. Desktop arm mount. I don't know. I Googled and shit to try to find what people use. Like, I thought they used a tripod and just like leaned it over. And then I'm like, how do you do that? You're like leaning over your camera trying to... I've never been accused of being smart. You guys know that. But again, this thing was like, I don't know, $30 on Amazon. It comes with a clamp. You just have to be able to clamp it to something. Make sure you get one that works for you. Some of them have big extendable arms and shit. If you want to do desktop. A lot of people want to do desktop because you don't have to show your face. And you get to show the knife close up, which is great. But I also think the face cam thing is great because you get to see the emotion of somebody. You get to really understand how they feel about something from their characteristics and all of that, you know. I like to mix it in, so I do both a lot. You'll see if you watch my videos, I go on streaks, so I'll do like 5 desktop videos because I'm sitting there literally filming 5 in a row, and I upload them in chronological order. So you might see 5 desktop videos and then see 3 face cam videos because I did unboxings, right? It's just how it is. I like mixing it up. I like doing both in one video. That is another way to do it. I'll film an intro sort of like this, and then I'll go to the desktop to show off stuff, right? Which I might do in a second. I don't know. But this isn't really about showing off stuff. So you know what? I won't. And I'm lazy sometimes. Today I just grabbed a little tripod with a couple legs on it and threw my phone holder on that and put it on my desk. I didn't feel like rigging up everything and turning the camera around and facing the other way. Whatever. Just do what's comfortable, you know? That's ultimately the important thing, is you got to be comfortable at whatever you're doing. If you're not comfortable filming and uploading 3 videos a day like I do, or 2 videos a day like I do, then don't do that, because those are the people who get burnt out. I see a lot of people who start a channel and they're cranking out videos, and then a month later they're done. You know, you might see a video every week or 2 after that, because that's what they're comfortable doing. That's what they can fit into their schedule. That's whatever the case is, right? So that's another piece of advice. I don't know how we got onto this I'm advising you on YouTube thing. You shouldn't listen to me. I'm the guy who curses and probably is going to get demonetized tomorrow. PayPal already got me, those bastards. But just do what's comfortable. If 1 video a week is what you can do, then do it. You know, a lot of people do 1 video a week. If you love to edit, and that's how your artistic and your creation comes out, is editing, then edit away, right? If you're like me and you just want to talk and ramble, then throw the camera on and talk and fucking ramble. You know, it just is what it is. So anyway, I just kind of want to talk about COVID and the knife community and how it started everything for me. So like, COVID sucks. I 100% am not sitting here saying COVID's a good thing or COVID's great. But COVID essentially is the reason why I'm here, like on YouTube, you're watching this. It's the reason I have a ton of my friends, very close friends. I mean, I could list so many people right now. And I don't want to, because I'm going to leave somebody out and then I'll feel really bad. But you guys know who you are. My friends in the community, my friends in general. I love you guys. Anybody watching this or anybody who follows me on Instagram, I love you guys. I might not know you. You might not actually comment or anything. I love you, you know. The fact that you interact in any way with my content is awesome. Like, when I first started this, when COVID hit, I never thought that anybody would want to listen to what the hell I had to say. And I still don't. I think people watch because I'm an idiot and I can be funny about being an idiot. But hopefully you get a little more than that out of it. I do try to teach people some stuff when I do disassemblies or whatever, even when I'm fumbling through them a lot of times. But yeah, it's just been a blast, and the community's awesome, and it started with COVID. So I guess I'm curious in the comments if you guys are the same way. You know, did you get into the hobby or go down the rabbit hole when COVID hit, or have you always been in that position? You know what I mean? Have you always been in the community? Because there's plenty of people that I talk to, like Jake. He's been in the knife community for years before COVID hit, I'm pretty sure. Now, he didn't start a channel until COVID either. Because what you have to understand is COVID gave people time to kill, essentially. And, you know, people who are proactive will do things like that. Start a YouTube channel, put their energy into that instead of moping around and playing video games like I did for the first however long, right? So I just think COVID has really, really exploded this community, and I love that, right? Like, would we have the Oz Machine Company Roosevelt if COVID didn't hit? That's a great question. I would love to ask Daniel Osborne that question. Did he start making knives or start making his own knives or whatever because he all of a sudden had time because he got laid off of a machine shop job? Or I don't know what the hell he did before. I'm just making shit up. But, like, I'm pretty sure there's a hell of a lot of knife designs out there and knife companies out there that we wouldn't know of if it wasn't for COVID. How about EMP EDC? One of my favorite knives this year. One of my favorite knives in general is the Nimble. I've talked to John about this. You know, COVID is basically the reason he started EMP EDC. He had, you know, the idea to do that instead of whatever he was doing before, you know. And man, am I glad that happened, right? So I don't know. I guess I'd just love to hear your point on that. Try not to, please don't, I know this is going to sound weird, but try not to give me the negative stuff. Like, I know COVID sucked. Like, I get that. And I am so sorry if you lost someone because of it or whatever, right? That's not what this is about. I'm not sitting here saying COVID is great, okay? I'm just saying it's why the community is as big as it is now, as awesome as it is now, and it is essentially why I am talking to you right now. So that's what I'm talking about. I'm not, like, I don't want to see comments about how I'm saying COVID is great or whatever. You can just go fuck off. Okay, Rick? Go fuck off, Rick. You know who you are. Yeah, anyway, so that was that topic, right? There was, what else did I want to talk about? What did I want to talk about? Oh, so the Vero Axons, this is my third lefty, and I'm hoping to get another one. So, left-handed knives are very rare, right? And when you find a left-handed knife, like the Axon here, or the Field Duty EDC here from Liang Ma, when it's actually a good knife, a great knife that's left-handed, I mean, it's just absolutely game-changing for me, personally. And, yeah, so I had a murdered out one of these. Then I had a end-cut carbon fiber with hand satin that I fucked up disassembling. And then Joseph was gracious enough to replace it with this, which is belt satin and black micarta. And this, yeah, This thing is amazing. I've been carrying this so much. Like, if I'm not carrying this, I'm carrying this in my front left pocket. It's just kind of how it is right now. The Kubi Royal has taken some of that time lately, but for a while it's been these two. And yeah, so I'm trying to get another one in end cut and belt satin. That would be my preference. And then I think I'll probably just stop and stick with two. I sold the Murdered Out one to OCD for EDC. You can always check that out on his channel. Check out his channel. Justin's a great dude. I did put taco bearings in here. That was another thing I wanted to talk about. I bought some taco bearings. And you'll see it in that video. I was possibly not going to post that because it was literally just a shit show. I took this knife apart like 5 times, putting them in. And I was going to do this one too. And I was like, oh my God, I can't do that. It's already 40 minutes or whatever. But basically, taco bearings are bearings. They're like custom ones that are not stamped, like, you know, like skiffs, right? Solid caged. But they come with a very thin steel washer, and that goes, in this case, it goes against the titanium. Then you have the bearing and then the blade, and that's why it's like a taco, right? Because of that extra washer. So I put those in here because somebody recommended them. Shout out to Mitty on Instagram. And yeah, I mean, the knife is just as smooth as it was on Gillian's. It's never going to drop shut because there's just lock bar pressure. That's just how this specific one is dialed. The newer ones seem to be more drop shut. Like, if you need to shake it, it's just like a little shake and this thing's like... But yeah, I'm really digging these taco bearings. I ordered 2 more sets today, another 1/4 inch and another 5mm. So I was planning on doing, let me know what you guys think of this in the comments if you're still watching somehow. I was thinking of doing a video about all the different bearings I use because I should have every type. Yeah, once I get back to Gillian's, because I had to send some Gillian's back to Gillian to fix. Once I get those back, I'll have Gillian's, Skips, Delrins, and taco bearings, which is 4 kinds. I mean, that's a lot of bearings. And then I'll have like all the extra ones that I have laying around from, I have a bag full of bearings from taking them out of knives. And I was thinking I could just do a knife ramble talking about bearings and all the different kinds, how they work, what the point is. Are bearings better for your knives? Are they not? The differing viewpoints, because there's a lot of makers out there that think I'm crazy for changing bearings in their knives. They don't think it does anything yet, and they tell me the science behind it or whatever, the mechanics, engineering behind it, and it sounds logical. I'm not like an engineer, so I don't quite understand, you know, all that shit, but it all sounds logical. But all I can say is I swap bearings, knife get better. Caveman can do it. Like, I don't know. I mean, you can argue with me all the time that swapping the bearings didn't make it drop shut, but this knife did not drop shut before I put bearings in it. What is it doing right now? It's better, right? And Joseph is not one of those people that cares about bearings. He does not give a shit what you put in his knife. He wants you to be able to take it apart, put it back together, and put bearings in, do whatever, right? The knife should go apart and come back together easily enough that you can do stuff like that. I appreciate that about Joseph, right? Some makers don't want you to take their knives apart, you know? They think it's perfect the way it is and it shouldn't be messed with. Well, you know, if I spend my money on your knife, I should be able to do whatever else. That's my knife, right? Like, I get it. I get that you wouldn't want... Like, the argument to it is if you fuck it up and then you got to send it to the maker to fix your fuck up, then I get it, right? But if you're just... You own the knife now and you're taking it apart to do whatever you want, that's your property. I don't think that should void warranties or anything. That's bullshit. But that's a whole argument we could have another day. But But I love swapping bearings, and I thought that would be an interesting video. So let me know if you guys are interested in that. Updates on knives, I might as well while I'm here. I'll be doing reviews on some of these, so you can just watch that. The Rockwall from Tactile Turn. I was really high on this knife on my first impressions. I still think it's a really good knife. American made for $300 with titanium and XHP steel. There were ones in 20 CV. It's on bearings, etc. But they have lock rock. I don't know, you can't hear it probably. You can't see it either, but I can. It's lock rock. And the other one I handled recently also had it. That's why I'm saying they have lock rock. I'm guessing it's an inherent thing. That bothers me a good bit about it. Other than that, I really like the knife. I do. This one has a couple of imperfections. Centering is not dead nuts. The other one I had was not nuts either. So they have some things to improve. But for a first knife, it's really cool. The Kubi Royal, I'm wrapping up my review on this as well. Man, this is a budget king, guys. If it didn't have D2, it would already be my knife of the year for budget category. As is with D2, it still might be. Probably will be. It's going to be between this, the Riffle from Civivi, and the Mini Arian from Artisan. I might have to get another Riffle if I can, so I can do that video. But the year is not over yet, so there could be another budget knife that comes along. But this thing is just a beast. Colin, the designer, absolutely killed it. That's something else I could talk about. Colin and I are working on a design together. I drew it out. He turned it into an actual knife and put his own touches on it, and we're working on that. We're trying to get it into CAD and get 3D prototypes printed, plastic prototypes, so we can see how it fits ergonomically, all that jam. So that's very exciting. I'm enjoying working with him a lot. I am talking to an OEM about it already. I'm not going to say who or anything, but we might be bringing this knife to market, and that's really exciting for me because I never thought I would have a knife design out there, right? And I've actually drawn a couple at this point. I got a few, and hopefully something comes out eventually. But preemptively, I want to say that it's not going to be left-handed. Anything I design or work on with somebody, I will make sure it has a reversible clip. That's going to be like a deal breaker thing for me. As a lefty, we have to get that clip. And I'm going to obviously make it as functional left-handed as possible for having a right-handed lock, right? So you're not going to see any frame locks like this from me, right? That's just a frame lock. Like if I do this, it'll have a bolster on it so that I can get my finger here and still flick it. Or it'll be a liner lock or sub-frame lock or whatever, button lock, whatever. You get what I'm saying. So anyway, I wanted to address that for some fucking reason. New knives coming in, and then I'm going to wrap this up because this has been a while. New knives coming in. So I kind of slowed down on purchasing. I don't have, normally I have a whole shitload of emails. That's how I keep track of what's coming in. I'll have emails with tracking from all the companies that I have stuff coming from that I bought. So basically I have the receipt emails, right? I have none of those right now. Of course, pre-orders, I don't consider that way. I just delete that because otherwise I'd be looking at it every day and it would annoy me. So I have like 10 or 12 knives on pre-order and some other EDC items. So those will start coming in soon, starting with the Forest from Mallory Designs, which I'm really excited about, man. That knife looks gorgeous. That thing looks like it came out amazingly. He's got 30 left as of today, so I don't know if they'll be available when this posts, but man, if you didn't get one, you should. I mean, it was a no-brainer, $180 for that knife. I am really hoping I love it, so there's that. Also, there was the lottery last night for the Roosevelts. I did not get a spot. I had a few emails in there. I had my wife's, had mine, had a buddy put his in for me. Nope, can't win. Luckily, I have one that I love, so it's not so bad. It's okay, right? I know, I'm bougie. Yeah, I don't have a ton of stuff coming in. I think there's some loaners coming. But that's about it. I haven't bought anything that's on the way, I don't think, other than pre-orders. So, should be interesting to see how the content goes. Like, am I still going to be able to pump out 2 videos a day without having all those knives coming in? If I do stuff like this, I guess. But I can't just keep doing rambles. You guys are going to get sick of this real quick. But yeah, anyway, that's kind of where I'm at. And that's the random COVID brought us together video ramble. Yeah, that's everything. Appreciate you guys watching. Sorry if this is not for you. I get it. You don't need to listen to me ramble. You can skip to a ton of other videos. I think I have 600 and something videos at this point, which is insanity. It hasn't even been a year. I'll hit the year mark at the end of November. So it's coming. It's only about a month away. And it's been a blast. We just hit 2,500 subs the other day, which is awesome. I don't really care anymore about the numbers I hit. I want to try to promote the channel, obviously. So if you're still watching and you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Like the video if you haven't, or dislike it if you want to join the thumbs down gang. Leave a comment. Tell me how you feel about this video or the channel or the topics I talked about. I'd love to hear from you guys. You know I love you. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day, and I will catch you later.